So I just needed to make a quick video about the energy of today, but you might have been feeling this energy for weeks now. This push and pull of wanting to expand, but also needing to honor your body, honor your limits, and honor your energy. And this is very confusing for people in the spiritual community because we're always drilled about the idea of expansion. Expansion, 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 energy, creation, creation, creation. But no one ever honors the slowing down and the contraction. This full moon in Capricorn that's happening right now as I speak is squaring Saturn, its ruler. And Saturn is all about honoring our limits, honoring our boundaries. And this isn't me putting limiting beliefs on you. It is actually honoring your human, that you are only one person and you cannot do everything all at once. Yes, you are infinite. And as a channeler, I feel my infinite nature all the time, but sometimes that is not actually for my highest good because I want to do everything right now and my human is like, whoa, 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 Jade, slow down, I can't do this, or I'm only a human right now. So we need to honor our limits, and that is not a limiting belief, is the message from this full moon in Capricorn. We have Jupiter ramping up its energy right before it moves into Leo later today. And that is the push for expansion, the push for saying yes to all these opportunities and blessings that are coming in for you. But Saturn's also going to come in and be like, hold up, slow down, do it right. Don't rush, don't say yes to everything. I know you want to expand. I know you're feeling this passion and this energy or this momentum to move. But Saturn in Aries especially, because Aries is very impulsive and it's like, yes, 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 let's do it, let's go, let's start, let's initiate. And Saturn's going to go, hold up, no. Slow down, do it right. And that is what Saturn's been doing to me for the past couple of weeks. And if you're feeling that too, you're not alone. But Chiron has just moved into Taurus, which is all about us coming back to our body, honoring the limits of our body, of our energy. And then we have this full moon in Capricorn squaring Saturn that is also going, honor your limits, slow down, come back to your body. This is not about expansion in a way that's going to burn you out. Because Jupiter in its excess gets very hyped up, very excited, and pushes you too far. And it overindulges. And Jupiter is amazing. It's the benefic planet. It makes you believe that you can do anything in this life. You can expand in an infinite amount of ways, and that is a beautiful thing. But we don't want to use that, let that energy get to us and burn us out. And so all the astrology is working together, and you need to see that the Saturn energy influence is coming in to give you, to slow you down, to bring in a block or a delay, but that is actually divine and it's actually for your highest good and it's actually serving you to prevent you from overindulging or burning out or pushing too far in this expansion, expansion, expansion. Because we have this ridiculous belief in the spiritual space community that it is all about expansion. That is all people ever talk about. No one ever honors the contraction. Or that's not really the famous content, is it? It's always the expansion, the growth, the exponential progress and growth and expansion. And that is exactly what the 3D matrix is built on. Exponential progress, exponential growth. It just never stops. Keep going, keep going, keep going. And that leads to a dishonoring of self, of our bodies, of our energy, and of nature. And that is what Chiron in Taurus is perfectly on time coming in to make us honor our bodies, but also honor the earth. Because in the 3D matrix, they've been so addicted to the idea of expansion and progress and success and evolution in their own way that they have completely destroyed this planet in doing so, right? This exponential growth, making more profit, making more income has actually destroyed the earth. And Chiron in Taurus is going to come in and show us that. See how much you've destroyed earth by doing this? Slow down. So Chiron in Taurus, I actually see, is going to be working with Saturn a lot because they're both about honoring the limits and honoring our body and honoring our energy and making sure that we do it right this time, that we are honoring ourselves and honoring the earth. And Jupiter is beautiful. I'm not saying Jupiter is disrespectful of the earth, but sometimes we get so caught up in the hype of expansion that we don't honor the other side of it, which is contraction. It's because contraction isn't as cool, right? It's expansion is the hype, that's the thing that sells, but the closing of something is just as beautiful as the opening of something. the ending of something is just as beautiful as the beginning of something. And that is something that humans need to learn, because this full moon in Capricorn, this is a big ending, wrap up, closing. And that is not a sad thing. That is a beautiful thing, because there's a lot of energy coming in July. It's going to completely shift this timeline, this collective timeline as we know it. And so this is a really important full moon to release and let go and honor and see the beauty in that closing, in that ending. But that's just not as cool, because we're always talking about beginnings and starting and all the new stuff and all the expansion stuff. But we need to see that, like our womb as a woman, we have the ability to open, expand and contract, and there's beauty in both. As we make love with someone, we are expanding and contracting, and that is a beautiful thing. When we fall pregnant, the body starts to close to create a container, a safe container for the baby, and that is beautiful. And then 9 months later, it opens up in a way that it has never opened up before to birth that baby, and that is beautiful too. But we're honoring the closing and the opening. And I'm talking about pregnancy and babies because Jupiter in Cancer, this is the last day of Jupiter in Cancer, and that is all about fertility. And this past year, we really need to thank Jupiter in Cancer for all the blessings that it's given us, because it has created the fertile grounds and the fertile soil to start our next chapter of our life. Because everything in astrology is connected, there's going to be a lot of stuff coming in July, and we need to thank Jupiter for what it's done. It's done way more than you can even possibly imagine, or that you can know right now, that it has actually prepped you perfectly for the moments that are about to hit us. And it's created that fertile soil for you to grow and expand, but in a nurturing, beautiful, loving way, because that is what Jupiter in Cancer, the lesson is that you're not expanding out of force. You're expanding from a place of nurturing and nourishing yourself. And then Chiron and Taurus is kind of carrying that lesson forwards and going, yes, keep nourishing, keep looking after your body, keep honoring that, keep honoring the cycles of yourself and the cycles of nature. Right now, we're in Australia, we're in winter. Can I ask you, are you wintering right now, or are you still pushing to expand? Are you still pushing for success, for more profit in your business, or for whatever you're doing right now? Are you working with the cycles? And you're not always in alignment with the cycles of nature around you. You might genuinely have a burst of energy right now for your soul path right now, but are you honoring the contraction part of your journey as well? Because it's just as important. Cancer is the container of life. It holds, it nurtures, it protects its creations, whether that's a baby or not. And that is what Jupiter in Cancer for the past year has been trying to teach us, is learn to hold yourself and nurture yourself and know that you can expand in incredible ways without forcing, without trying to make it happen. And the spiritual community is just like the 3D matrix, where it is constantly pressuring you to move, to build, to create, make this thing. Action is forced. And Saturn is in Aries, which Aries is forcing action. It's like, I have no patience, I'm doing it now. I'm doing it all right now. And Saturn's coming and going, no, we need to slow down and we need to do it right. You need to honor yourself. You need to honor the earth. Saturn's working with Chiron and Taurus because we're going to be honoring the earth a lot more, and we're honoring our bodies. And that was the whole point of Jupiter in Cancer, is honoring yourself, and honoring and holding and nurturing that caring element is going to make you expand more than anything else. And this full moon in Capricorn is a workaholic. It doesn't stop. That is Capricorn. My moon's in Capricorn. We just don't stop because we never feel good enough the way we are, that we always need to keep going. And it's linked to that exponential growth and progress. No, what I'm doing right now isn't enough. I need to keep going. I need to do more. And this full moon in Capricorn is a big ending of that part of you, that perfectionist part of you that feels like it's never doing enough, that it needs to do more, that it needs to do it perfectly. It's that softening. Jupiter in Cancer's last gift before it shifts into Leo is that gift of softening and nurturing yourself and taking care of yourself. It is not all about exponential growth. That is the lesson. That is the message. And I think a lot of people in the spiritual space are going to struggle with that idea, because We are so high off the idea and the hype of expansion, success, growth, $1 million months, whatever you're selling or getting sold right now. That is not the lesson of the astrology right now. It's that when you soften, when you honor your body, you honor your limits, stop pushing for success, stop pushing for growth and expansion. It's actually preventing your true expansion. Your soul is always expanding. That is its infinite, universal nature. It is always expanding in its own way, and everything is perfectly aligned. So you don't need to force it or rush it or make it happen. And that is what we're going to get humbled by. You cannot make expansion happen. It happens naturally, and when the more we honor our body and honor our energy and honor the fact that we are human, we're divine, but we're human. We're a divine human. We're merging both. And that is a tricky thing to do. And there's all these false programs out there in the spiritual space still pushing the 3D matrix programs that we need to push for expansion and success and making money. And, that's not what it's about. Our expansion comes from nurturing and honoring ourselves. And that's when our true power comes online. And I am learning that too. I need to slow down. I need to honor my body. I channel and I forget to eat. So this has been humbling me as well. Like, I need to slow down, pull back, and start honoring myself, and not let these comments from the spiritual community going, you need to be consistent to get clients. You need to be consistent to get a following, to get a client base going. Whatever limiting beliefs you've been sold from other people, this is the full moon to release all of them. And especially anything around perfectionism, because that is Capricorn. It wants to be perfect. It wants to get everything right. And Saturn is coming in as Capricorn's ruler. He is coming in to help us. Yes, slow down. You will do this right without rushing, but release that pressure for it to be perfect, because the pressure to be perfect and the pressure to expand actually slows down your expansion. And that is the humbling lesson that a lot of people are going to struggle to learn, I think. And we need to honor our soul's natural expansion. And your soul's expansion isn't like anyone else's expansion. So stop looking on social media at other people with all their energy or all their success or all the money that they have. Yes, you can be inspired by them, but we always need to honor our natural progression. And know your soul knows what it's doing. And you don't have to force it. You don't have to rush it. And the soul is always 10 steps ahead of the human. And you can let your soul do that. And you can feel your soul pulling you in a certain direction, pulling you to create. And you go, yeah, I'll get onto that. But I'm also a human and I need to honor my human. I need to eat. I need to have healthy foods and honor my energy and take time to rest. And there's so much potential and expansion and infinite possibilities ahead of me in this life. And you're going to feel it a lot in July. A lot of shifts coming. Your timeline might completely change. And you need to keep reminding yourself, okay, all this change is happening, but I need to come back to my body. I need to honor my body. I need to nourish myself, nurture myself. That was the lesson of Jupiter in Cancer. Expand through nourishment. That true expansion doesn't come through forcing and making something happen. Expansion is easy and effortless because that is what your soul is programmed to do. It's an infinite universal nature. So don't even worry about it. Don't even try to expand yourself. Don't get sucked into the hype of the spiritual matrix of having to expand or do something or take action on something or create something by a certain time or to be like that person over there that's really successful. Like, we really need to strip it all away. And that is what this full moon in Capricorn is all about. We also have Jupiter moving into Leo, and Leo wants to shine. It's a very big energy, right? And we are all going to shine in our own way, but don't force that shining. Let it naturally happen. You, as you are, will naturally shine perfectly and divinely, and you don't have to do anything to make yourself shine. And that was the Jupiter in Cancer lesson, leading us to the Jupiter in Leo lesson of, oh, okay, I can relax. I don't have to put on a show and perform, because that's not really authentic, is it? Being truly shining is relaxing into yourself. surrendering into yourself, nurturing yourself, nourishing yourself. That's when you're magnetic. That's when you're the most attractive. That's when you're the most powerful manifestor to create your own reality. And I'm trying to connect this all so you can see without it being confusing that we just had Chiron in Aries for the past 8 years, asking us the same question over and over again. Am I loved for being myself? And where I am, the environment I'm in, the people I'm around, am I loved for who I really am, or something that is not authentic to who I am? And if people can't love your true authentic self, you got to cut them. And it's kind of coming around again, I can feel, during this time. Like, you really need to ask yourself, what do I have to release and let go of as a form of self-honoring? Because Jupiter in Cancer is that honoring and nurturing of self. Ask yourself again, on the last day Jupiter's in Cancer, what else do I need to release as a form of self-honoring? And it's not a bad thing, and I'm not limiting myself by saying no. No is actually good for you. And sometimes I even get confused with that in the spiritual community. I'm like, oh, so me saying no is like me having a limiting belief and I'm blocking myself from that opportunity. But Jupiter brings so many opportunities, and we need to learn our discernment, which is Saturn. See how it's all connecting? We need to use our discernment to know what to say yes to and what to say no to. And we need to honor ourselves first and foremost. That we are carrying the Chiron and Aries lessons with us into this year. And the question is, can I be myself and be loved here? And the people that I'm trying to belong with, that I'm trying to be friends with, that I'm trying to be loved by, are they aligned with my values and my truth? Or am I just choosing a sense of belonging, that feeling of belonging, that feeling of soul tribe that I've wanted for so long? Because Jupiter in Cancer triggers that. Jupiter in Cancer wants to belong, and it wants to be like, because Cancer is family and tribe and home. So we want to feel like home. But are we actually surrounded by the right people that make us feel that genuinely and authentically? Or are we just chasing that feeling of belonging when it's not actually true? That is another question for this time that you need to ask yourself. Because are you choosing a sense of belonging that isn't self-honoring? It's not honoring who you truly are, because you have to shrink yourself in some way to fit or to belong. But Jupiter's moving into Leo. You're going to be called to shine soon, and you can't shrink to fit in a box. You need to be fully yourself, and then you'll align with the people that you really belong with. So please know, all the astrology works together. That Jupiter in Cancer was triggering this wounding around belonging and family and soul tribe, but then Chiron in Aries was teaching us that lesson and helping us, going, okay, yes, we honor that desire to belong, but let's be myself fully and authentically, and then I'll align with the right people. Then I'll be happy with the right people. I'll actually fully feel like I belong, because belonging around a group of people that you have to shrink around isn't true belonging. So the astrology is always pushing us for our highest good to have us reach that true sense of belonging that you deserve, that you are going to be loved exactly as you are, and you don't need to hide anymore. And with full moon in Capricorn, you don't need to be perfect to be loved, to belong. It's all connecting, and I hope this little crash course of everything that's been happening lately makes sense to you. That we're just about, this links to Jupiter entering Leo. We really need to shine as who we are and know that we can be loved from that place. Chiron in Aries was like questioning, can you be loved for being yourself with the people you're around? If that was a no, you were meant to cut them. And now Jupiter's going to go into Leo at 3 p.m. today, and it's going to be, okay, well, now I've learnt the Chiron in Aries lessons of self-honoring. Jupiter in Cancer has also taught me to self-honor. Chiron in Taurus now is pushing me to keep honoring my body. This Saturn square to the full moon in Capricorn is also telling me to honor my limits and honor my energy. And now, how can I now move into Jupiter in Leo, which is me shining as who I truly am and knowing that I can be loved from that place? Knowing that I don't have to shrink any part of me. I don't have to hide anything. Nothing is too much. There is no fullness that is too much for someone. And if it is too much for someone, they're not your people. And this is a really important clearing out that's happening under this full moon. So please honor it, and please honor the wintering of yourself and the contraction phase of your expansion. It is not always about expansion, 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 expansion. That's not how it works. That's not how nature works. It goes in rhythms and cycles. And in the spiritual space, we don't honor that enough. Expansion is the hype and contraction is kind of ignored. And it's time for you to honor that.